So the other day, I'm in Lenox Mall in Atlanta, and there I am, and I'm walking, minding my own business. I'm going to buy my wife a birthday present, and all of a sudden, I pass the Rolex authorized dealer, and I think to myself, should I go in? No. I'm good. I'm just gonna look. All right. If you know anything about me, you know that I like watches. I love watches. I love Timex watches. I love Rolex watches. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of the other like super premium watches because I just don't think they're that pretty or that cool. Honestly, it was funny because I watch a lot of watch videos, and a lot of these brands, like even like a Patek, I think like a Patek, the watch that I like the most out of that line is the Aquanaut with the rubber strap, the gold one, the rose gold with the black strap. I think that one's like pretty sick, but everything else I just think looks like a, and I'm just not that guy that like gets super like pumped up about Pateks. AP, Royal Oaks, like, okay, I think some of them look decent. Like, I like the band on some of them. But I just don't get excited about them. All right, another one, Richard Mille, I don't understand. I know that I am in, I guess, maybe the minority, but I think it's more about the flex of owning and being able to afford that type of watch. And I would never, ever in a million years spend that much on a watch. I just think it's fucking ridiculous. And so, that being said, I have bought some watches over my illustrious watch buying career. And really, it was one of those first things that I did, Rolex Milgauss. It was like my first kind of like, this is like a flex. I was still driving my G35, my Infinity. All right, I had my office, which was, it was functional, and this was kind of like my first like big boy purchase when I started to make a little bit of money, but I needed an office. I needed to get Pete and Pedro out of my spare bedroom so I could have people help me. And the first real flex, I think, when I think back of shit that I bought that I just didn't need, but I wanted it because I wanted it, it was a Rolex Milgauss. It was like $8,000. And then I'm like, yo, I'm good, right? I got this Rolex watch. That's all I need. And then what happened? Boom. 3 months later, I bought another watch. I bought the GMT Master, Blackface GMT Master. And I'm like, wow, I've got two. I'm not going to do this again. Guess what I did? Exactly. You know the story. 3 months later, another watch. A white-face Rolex Daytona. I coincidentally sold it, lost money, but if I would have held on to it, that watch would have been like worth like 30 grand, which brings me to a point. I'm not a watch collector. I am not an investor. I'm just a dude who likes wearing a nice watch, a Rolex, all right? I'm not into the other ones, and that's just me. Rolex to me symbolizes, premium, mafia, right? All those dons had, the day dates. And so I bought a few watches, and then I bought my Rose because I'm like, all right, that's it. I'm never buying another one. And then I bought another one. I bought the one with the rubber strap, the Oyster Flex Yachtmaster. And I'm like, wow, okay, I'm done. Like $20,000 at the time that I bought that was like it. I would never spend any more. And then I bought this one for $30,000. And I'm like, I'm done. And I truly have been done since this watch. And what I've come to realize is, okay, stupid. Like, what are you doing? Why are you buying these? What is it doing to you? Why are you feeding this ego? What are you trying to prove? And then I got some other expensive hobbies, which is houses. All right, I built a house. That was expensive. And then I decided, let me do it again. And I built the house that I'm in now. Huge, colossal waste of money. Honestly, if I'm being completely honest, it was a huge waste of money. But when I think about what would I spend that money on if I didn't build that house? And so I can justify it. The other reality is that I don't have any debt. And so and I also have been saving and I have been living below my means. And even though it was expensive, it was at the time below my means, right? But the other day I'm in the Rolex, or I'm walking by the Rolex store, and I decide, let me just go and see. Because in my head, even though I've given away my Rolex Milgauss to a YouTube viewer, I gave away all my watches on my YouTube channel a few years ago, and I gave away my Rolex Milgauss to somebody who sent me an email. I randomly selected somebody and I gave it to him. I sent it to him. I gave another one to my dad. I gave one to my wife, and so I just wear this one primarily now. So I know me. I know that I won't wear it, so why buy it? I also know now that I feel like it's just a huge, not waste of money, because But I just don't give a shit anymore. And so I was in the mall, I was at the dealership, and I went in. And in my head, I've always thought, if I ever sell one of my businesses, I'm going to commemorate it by buying myself the rose gold day date with, chocolate dial, with the baguette like indices. And that was a watch that I've always loved. I've always loved the day date bracelet, right? The presidential bracelet. I've always loved it. And so I thought, I'm going to do it. But I was in there, and I'm sitting down, and I'm talking to this guy, and he's like, oh, let's put you on the list. I'm like, okay, let's put me on the list. And I'm sitting there, and I'm just thinking to myself, I'm not going to buy this. Why am I going to buy this? It doesn't matter if I sell my business. Who gives a shit? And then I started thinking about other things that I just don't think I'm ever going to buy again. Another one, number 2, is a sports car. I've had one, the M4. It was awesome. Everybody I talk to, everything I hear, oh my gosh, a Porsche, this and that. I just don't give a shit. I don't care about cars. Houses, I'm done with those too. I'm not going to ever build another house. If I have to sell my house because I'm broke, that's another story, and then we'll figure it out from there. But I like to think that I have put myself in a financial position where I won't have to do that. And I think I got it out of my set. And that's one of the other things. When you start making more money, it's incredibly tempting, especially when you never had any money. Or if you basically like certain things. Like if you've got expensive taste, like I've got expensive taste, all right? I like nice things, but I don't need nice things. And the things that I used to buy that were nice, I don't need anymore, or I basically just got it out of my system. And I think to some degree that really is a pivotal point in your development as an entrepreneur, as somebody making more money. You start to outgrow things that you thought you needed or things that you were buying that were to feed some piece of your ego or to let other people know that you are whatever and you have whatever. And when you become more confident with yourself, it becomes super just stupid. And that's really why I kind of wanted to do this video. But then I started thinking a little bit more about other things that it doesn't matter how much money I have, I just will never buy. All right, another one. And I want to know, what about you? Is there something that you just doesn't matter? If you had $1 billion, you're just not going to buy it because you just think that it's a waste of money or you're just not into. I want to know down below, what is something that maybe you used to be into, but you kind of got it out of your system, or you just don't feel like the value is there. Another one for me is flying private. I will never charter a private jet, ever. It doesn't matter how much money I have. I will spend money on first class plane tickets. That's how I prefer to travel. All right, one of the luxury things that I do and the things that I do treat myself to is first class plane tickets. I just like flying first class because I hate to travel, and it's one of those things that I can do that's going to make it suck a little bit less. I like getting on the plane first. I like getting off first. I like always having a place for my carry-on. I like not thinking about it. And so I do that. Something else that I do and I splurge on is hotel rooms. I will spend more money to get a nicer hotel room. Is it a waste of money? Absolutely it is. Would it serve just the same purpose buying or staying at a Motel 6? Yes, it absolutely would. But I just like treating myself to a nice hotel room. It's two things that I like. Another one is rental cars. And this is one of those kind of stupid things, but I enjoy when I go somewhere driving a decent, not like a sports car, but like a decent rental car. I'll upgrade to like a BMW or something because I know BMW because I've had a bunch of them and I understand the technology, so I don't have to learn something new, and it's a comfortable car for me. But I will spend and splurge a little bit there as well. Vacations. If I take a vacation, I don't like the vacation, but that's another thing that I personally will splurge on. I just bought, my wife and I, a 4-day trip to Costa Rica, And it's the most expensive vacation I've ever taken. I don't like to travel. I don't take a lot of vacations, but I'm like, you know what? We're probably only going to take 1 or 2 vacations a year, and so spend the money. Treat yourself and your wife to a nice experience. All right, experiences. I will spend money on experiences now. Something else is food. I will spend money eating out at nice restaurants. I just enjoy the experience. I enjoy the food. Is it overpriced? Yes. Is it a waste of money? Absolutely. But for me, I enjoy doing that. I also enjoy treating other people to a nice meal. It's something that I just enjoy doing. Something else that I will never do or spend money on is a vacation home. I just won't do it. I won't do it. I've thought about it because like the temptation at times is there. And I think that's one of the things that you as an entrepreneur or a business person or somebody making a little bit of money, you've got to push down that urge. For me, it just never made sense. It's like, why would I? And there's a place in Florida called Alice Beach. It is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful community, gorgeous homes. The cost is like probably $5 to $10 million, right? Beautiful. But why the fuck would I do something like that? Why would I do, even if I had the money to do it, even if I had $50 million sitting in the bank, why would I do that? One of my theories on vacation homes or second homes is that you could take that money and you could literally vacation anywhere in the world for as long as you want in the whatever hotel you want, and you're never going to spend that money. It's just a huge, like, in my opinion, waste of money. And I also am somebody that would never like Airbnb or rent out my place. I just think it's gross. I don't want somebody else sleeping in my bed, personally. I don't want somebody in there, like, I just don't want somebody in there using my personal space. And so if I bought it, it would sit empty. I wouldn't get rental income. The other reality is that it also makes you feel obligated to go to that one place all the time to get value from it. I don't want to be tied down. I don't want the responsibility. I don't want any part of it. And so I will never, ever, ever buy it. Something else that I will never do is I will never pay for an expensive coach or coaching program. I have friends that have spent thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars on coaches and platforms. I think it's a huge waste of money. I think that if you're not motivated or if you don't understand that you can learn all the shit that they're going to talk to you or tell you about on your own or using AI, ChatGPT, YouTube videos or whatever, I don't need somebody holding my hand. I will never do it. I know that there's value in it, or I should say certain people get a lot of value out of it, but for me, I just will never do it. What I've come to realize is that what I value now more than anything is peace of mind and comfort and security. And so when I think about sort of buying things or sort of flexing, it is of zero importance to me anymore. Certain things I like, like I said, to splurge on, but most things that people splurge on or buy when they become successful or whatever, I just find zero value in it anymore. And I think I'm getting older and realizing that it just doesn't matter. Like the things that matter are spending time with your family, security, and for me, one of the things that I think about is security long term. That's something else that I'm ultra aware of. I don't have children that are going to like take care of me and wipe my butt when I get old. And so one of the things that I think about is, okay, I need enough money so that I can hire somebody basically to live with me and my wife full time, or have 2 people that live there and have in-home health care or in-home care to the degree of somebody actually living with us. And so that's one of the things that I will be splurging on when I get older and God willing, live long enough to need that. But anyway, I just was thinking a little bit about this when I was walking by that Rolex store. And then there was a comment in last week's episode from Max Tuning that got me thinking a little bit more about money and about why when you reach a certain level of success, what keeps you going? What keeps you striving? What keeps you showing up day to day to day to try to earn more money? At some point, and I've seen the comments like, you've got enough, or isn't it enough? Like, why are you worried about it, right? If you're an entrepreneur, there's a curse that happens, or you're cursed. It's not just about the money. Not at all. It's about the process. It's about the challenge. It's about doing something that interests you. And so for me, what keeps me going and striving to make more money, it's money equals, in my mind, from an entrepreneurial perspective, it equals success. If I make more money, that means that I'm being more successful. If I do X, if I buy real estate, if I flip real estate, if I build a spec home, if I do any of these things that I want to do, A, it's a challenge, B, I'm interested, and C, it's a way for me to kind of see if I can do it. And so that's the reason why I do it, Max. That's the reason why I keep trying to make more money and be successful and all that. But what about you? I want to know, what is something that you just won't waste money on anymore? Maybe there was a time when you bought every iPhone or a gadget or whatever it is, or big ass TVs that were just amazing. And then you got a Vizio and you're like, yo, this shit's just as good, right? There are some people I know that only buy super crazy expensive tech. And for me, I won't do it. I will keep my shit as long as I can and as long as it still works. And even when it starts to not work, I'll still limp along because I just hate change and I just don't see the value in it. All right, I want to know, what do you think? Down below, let me know what is something that you will not buy again, or what will you buy? I want to know also like what you'll splurge on. Everybody's got their thing, right? Some people have like a watch thing. Some people have like, what is that thing that you will splurge on that might be technically a waste of money? And don't say like coffee, right? Like that's one of, like I hate it when people are like, oh, like coffee, it's a little splurge. Okay, fine. Could you brew it yourself? Yes. Do I just like going to Starbucks or wherever? I am an equal opportunity coffee slut. I will go to all the coffee shops. There's something about going into a coffee shop and just kind of immersing yourself in an experience for a little bit that makes me feel good. I like seeing people. I'm an entrepreneur, solo entrepreneur. And so I do a lot of stuff by myself. And so anyway, what is a splurge? So down below, I want to know, what is something that you will not buy again? Huge waste of money. You're not doing it. Doesn't matter, like you're not doing it anymore. Second question, down below, what is something that you will spend money on and splurge even though it may technically be a little bit of a waste of money? Down below, I'm curious as to what you will say. The first business question comes from our friend Stronger Than Yesterday. What's up, Aaron? I'm 26-year-old fitness head and I started an Instagram fitness page a month ago. Right now, focused on growing it to help young men get healthier. What advice would you have for me in terms of growing a brand online? Number one, look to see what other fitness influencers are talking about. What are their most popular videos? What are the videos that went viral for them? And then do your version of those topics or videos. It's a way to cheat and hack the system. You know that if it went viral for them, it's probably going to go viral for you and it's going to increase your awareness and you're going to grow a lot faster. Don't think you have to reinvent the wheel. The one thing I will say is there's only one you because you're amazing. And remember that. You will find your audience and your audience will find you eventually. Just keep posting. Don't get discouraged when you get discouraged because you will get discouraged. Just keep posting. It's never been a better time. I would also say start posting YouTube videos as well. All right, you're doing stuff for Instagram, cool. You can put that on a YouTube page, post it as a short, and then I would also think about and consider starting long form content because in terms of building a sustainable brand and business, I personally feel like YouTube is still the foundation and where you should start and then use these other platforms to kind of just get your awareness out there. But you do what you want to do. That's my 2 cents, in my opinion. That's just not in my, that's my 2 cents and it is my opinion. The next question comes from our friend, Challenger908. As I've gotten older, I've realized that in many fields today, money tends to chase popularity and visibility, good or bad. more than pure skill or expertise. For a regular business, does building an audience or personal brand now matter more than mastering marketing or advertising skills? I ask because we're seeing creators with huge followings sell even saturated businesses like clothing, while skilled but unknown people are often told to avoid these industries. So the answer is yes to your question. Brand and building an audience and building a following is what you got to do in today's world, right? There are a lot of people that are very, very like unqualified or unskilled, that they have gotten an audience, they have built an audience, and they can sell a shit more product or whatever, or service or whatever, as opposed to somebody that may be technically better, or it's a better product, but nobody's heard of it. You will not go wrong if you start putting content out there and just putting yourself out there. Build your personal brand or your brand around your business. Brand is everything in today's world. I promise you won't regret it. The next question comes from our friend Tony's team. How can somebody deal with the fear of rejection? Business deals, relationship, job applications, etc. Sometimes getting rejected feels like a personal attack, even though I know it's not. Is there something that can help me with that? Or is it all about just continuing to try until you get that one yes? Also, I love your videos. I've been watching. Thank you, Tony's team. For me, it was about failing, honestly. It was about getting rejected. That helped me not worry about it as much. The other thing, like when I tried my fitness center and that blew up, I was as low as it got. But from that point, like when you put yourself out there and you actually fail or you get rejected or they say no, it does get easier. It also is one of those things, for me at least, it was like, okay, like worst case scenario, it happened. Like it failed. I went bankrupt. I had to shut down. My dream is gone. Like, all right. Well, now it makes trying something else a lot less scary. Failure is an incredible teacher. It's also an incredible tool to allow you to get rid of that fear of failure or to help you. Now, the other thing you're going to have to realize is that for me, self-awareness and the thing that I fear more than failure is regret, not trying. Thinking to myself, oh, that would have been really cool. I bet I could have done that, or it would have been this, or what if I, like I fear regret. I fear having an idea or wanting to do something or wanting to go up to that girl or whatever it is. And I fear the regret of not doing it more than the fear of failing and being embarrassed or it sucking or whatever. Like that for me is a bigger motivator. And the other thing you just got to understand is that people don't give a shit about you. They're not going to remember. They don't care. People are not thinking about you the way that we think that they are. And this sounds harsh, but people just don't care about you. They're so preoccupied with their own life, their own issues, their own, desires and needs and wants and all that. They're not even thinking about you. So if you try, you fail, they're not going to judge you the way that you are. They don't care. They're too worried about themselves. And so when I realized this, it made trying and failing a lot easier. And I also realized that you got to fail multiple times before you find success. I've had over 20 businesses in my career, and most of them didn't work out. The next question comes from our friend Jake Chesmaker. Jay Chesmaker. I'm sorry for butchering that. We own a small retail business, liquor store, for about 3 years, but I still work my full-time job. So I haven't been able to really be involved like I want to. Since we bought it, the inventory value has been around 10% of sales. Since we bought it, the inventory value has been around 10% of sales. Is there a rule of thumb how that ratio, how have you found the balance? I don't understand the question. Since we bought it, the inventory value has been around 10% of annual sales. I don't understand 10% of annual sales. Your inventory value is 10%. Okay, so you've got an inventory value of 10% of your annual sales. So I have at okay, so maybe I'm thinking about, so at Pete and Pedro, I've got about $1 million of inventory. My annual sales is like 8 million, almost 9 million. but I think, I don't know. I think it depends on the industry. I'm just not sure. I don't know what the answer is to that, honestly. I don't know how to figure that out either. So you just got to, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know the answer to that question. The next question is from our friend, sorry, that sucked. I might cut that out. I'm not going to cut. I don't know. If any one of you in the viewing audience understands that question and can give him a more insightful answer, down below, please do it. I just have no idea. The next question comes from our friend RRRR2550. First of all, thank you so much for the great answer to the video. Do you think a well-crafted info product still has a real chance of being successful after the rapid growth of AI? Yes, 100%. Why? Because I just spit. Sorry. Yes, 100%. If you build your audience, you build your brand. Info products are still amazing because even though ChatGPT is great, a lot of people don't even think or know to go there to get answers. If you can solve somebody's burning problem or issue, you're going to crush it, right? If you can help somebody make more money or get more sex, one of those two things, game over. You win. Build your audience, give away value, sell your product, your e-product. I think this is still a huge opportunity. The other beautiful thing is that AI can help you create the info product. You don't need to basically reinvent the wheel here. And so yes, I think there's a market. Yes, I think AI can help you. Yes, I think a lot of people will look at AI for answers, but people still are lazy and they've got to actually do it. And there's something still personal about you talking to them and them building, or you building a community and then building, or you building trust around what you're talking about and then what you're selling and helping them do. 1,000% yes, info products are still awesome. And that's it. That's all of our questions. If you have a business question, down below, start it with question and ask it. If you have a question about my philosophy on life, ask it. It doesn't matter. And Max Tuning, just to reiterate your question, why after so much success and financial security do you still continue to chase more success and financial security? I don't have candy money, but I can tell you from my experience, it's the chase, it's the hunt, it's that feeling that you get when you do something right. And it's the experience and the curse of the entrepreneur. You want more because you're never satisfied. Grateful, yes. Satisfied? Never.